What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Laura. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. And everybody, don't forget to subscribe. Listen, today we're going to talk about 5 things that I found really surprising about Lisbon. If you are new here, I am spending 1 month in Lisbon. I am trying to decide if this is somewhere that I may want to move. So I'm here on a scouting trip. I'm staying in an Airbnb. I'm just renting a room because I want to kind of see what it's like to live as a local. I'm shopping in the grocery store. I'm taking the metro. I want the true experience. So I'm here for a month and I'm finding things that are really surprising. So number 1, if you're going to be in Lisbon for the entire month, then you would get a monthly pass for the metro. But since I'm going to be traveling all around Portugal, that did not make sense for me. So I got just a regular metro card, which you can then top up every time you need to get on the metro. Now, this is called the Viva card and it's paper, okay? What happened was I had a Viva card last week, but it got bent. Can you see that? It got bent in my pocket. I see a lot of people keep them in like wallets, you know, at the front of the wallet so they can just place it on the machine to get through to go to the subway. Well, I don't have one of those, so I placed it in my pocket and it got bent. Well, you know what happens when it bends? Sometimes you can't read it. You can put up to $50 on this card, 50 euros. So you need to be careful and keep it working because mine no longer works. It wouldn't go through the machine, so I went to the ticket booth and she said, it's trash, throw it. I'm like, there's money on it. She's like, well, I can't read it, so throw it. Thankfully, there's only 2 euros and 70 cents on here or something like that. But still, that's my money. Really sad. So now I have a brand new card and look, it's nice and perfect and clean. So be careful because if your card bends, it's useless. Number 2, when you sit down at your table in a restaurant, you may think, wow, it's so nice. They're bringing all these lovely appetizers and bread and olives to the table. And if you're American like me, when they bring you bread to the table without asking for it, it's free. It's complimentary. Not the case in Lisbon. Ask me how I know. If they bring you a bowl of olives that are looking so delicious and you even eat 1 olive, they will charge you for the entire bowl of olives. You need to keep this in mind. My first time in a restaurant last week, they brought a lovely assortment of appetizers. They brought fresh bread. Let me tell you, none of that is free. If you touch it, smell it, cut it, nibble it, any of that, you will be fully charged. So keep that in mind. Those appetizers that are brought to your table in the beginning of your meal are not free. Number 3, the metro is excellent. It's not that expensive and it's safe and it's clean. But if you're not really a metro person or if you're riding late at night and you would feel more comfortable taking a rideshare app, they do have Uber here and they also have Bolt. I have not used Uber, but I have used Bolt and I highly recommend that app. It is very inexpensive and I have been in rides as low as 2 euros. So in the States, you cannot take an Uber or a Lyft for under like $7 or $8, no matter how close you're going. I swear there's a minimum. Not true here. They are very inexpensive. They're also very, very quick. I have called a Bolt 4 or 5 times and the longest I've waited is 5 minutes. So they're very quick, they're very inexpensive. Now, one thing to keep in mind though is that there's no way to tip in the app after a long period of time. I just realized that I think you have an hour or something to leave a tip in the app. Now, tipping, this is not a huge tipping culture as you may know, but I would have wanted to have given something to these drivers who are very friendly. One gave me his number and told me to call him anytime for anything. So in general, people are very friendly here. So I do like to give something, But if you don't tip in cash on the spot, you better do it in the app quickly before you forget, or it's too late. Unlike at home where they'll remind you, that doesn't happen. So it's a great app though, I highly recommend it. Again, it's Bolt, B-O-L-T. They also have a food app that goes along with that called Bolt Food. It's a separate app, same company. I ordered that because I got sick here on my third or fourth day. I was really sick. I caught one of those 24-hour colds, and I'm staying in an Airbnb, so I didn't have a lot of food here. So I thought, well, let me try the Bolt app. So let me tell you, I went online. It was very quick. It gives you the time of when it's going to arrive. And this is what's shocking. I ordered from a grocery store, and my groceries were upstairs. They knocked on the door up inside the building. Very convenient door-to-door service within 40 minutes. So, and again, very low delivery fee charge. I think it was maybe €1 or €2 for delivery fee. So to get that quick service at that low of a price was great. So let me tell you, it's a great, inexpensive way to travel around Lisbon. So I highly recommend it. Bolt. Number 4, cookies. Who doesn't love cookies? I love cookies. Well, chocolate chip cookies, that is. But I'm not talking about those kind of cookies. I'm talking about internet web browser cookies that are used to track your data. Well, I noticed here in Lisbon that every single website I went to told me to accept the cookies. And a lot of them, I couldn't go onto the website without accepting them first. I'm telling you, this is pretty much every single website I've been on. And I'm not used to that. You see that occasionally back home, but here, every single time. I'm going to show you some examples right here. So that's just something to be aware of. If you're uncomfortable about maybe somebody tracking your data, that's something I just want you to be aware of. They were going to ask you every time if you're going to accept the cookies or not. And again, sometimes you don't have a choice. And number 5, yes, I understand that it's winter. It's January, so I knew that. And it's not like I'm new to cold weather. I grew up in Pittsburgh, for goodness sake. But Lisbon, even though the temperature says maybe 50 degrees, it does not feel like 50 degrees. And that's for 2 reasons. Number 1, we're by the water and it's windy. So even at 50 degrees, it's gonna feel like 40 degrees. So when it's 42, it's feeling like it's freezing. It's definitely something to keep in mind. It feels colder than it appears or that you would think that it would be. Number 2, a lot of the houses are very old. This is, I don't know, is it the oldest city in Europe? It's a very old city. So there are a lot of very old buildings. And what does that mean? They don't have central heat. So yes, it's cold outside, and then you come inside and you still don't have any heat. Sometimes it feels colder inside than it does outside. Now, I'm lucky my Airbnb host gave me a space heater. So my bedroom is fine. It's nice and toasty once I got used to it. It is warm enough. I'm comfortable now. I did buy this new sweater here in Lisbon because I was cold, but that does not mean the rest of the house is warm and toasty. I need this to be clear to you. And there's also a problem with mold here. So a lot of people leave their windows open throughout the day to help combat this mold issue, which apparently is common here. That means that when I use the bathroom, if I go in there to take a shower, the window is open and it feels like 40 degrees outside. So your bathroom feels like 40 degrees. So keep that in mind. The inside of a lot of buildings feel very, very cold. So those are 5 things that really surprised me about being in Lisbon. Have you been to Lisbon? What surprised you? Let me know in the comments below. Please don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.